Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever, say, canceled plans literally just to hang out with your dog? Seriously, picture this. You're out at some crowded dinner or a really loud party. The small talk is just totally draining you, the vibe is overwhelming, and suddenly you're doing that thing, the silent phone relief. You literally sneak off into a corner just to scroll through photos of your dog sleeping on the couch. We've all felt that quiet kind of hidden guilt of choosing our dogs over human social stuff. And when friends joke that you love your dog more than most humans, you don't even argue. Because in a lot of ways, hit the nail on the head, right? It's completely true. Now, society loves to label this kind of behavior as, antisocial, avoidance. Actually, scratch that. People usually just call it straight up weird, that you'd rather stay home in sweatpants with your pet than go out. But, well, the psychological reality is a whole different ballgame. You aren't hiding from life. You're actually using a brilliant biologically hardwired strategy for nervous system regulation. You're preserving your peace. You definitely haven't given up on connection. You've just finally found a safe space where you don't have to put on a performance just to be loved. All right, so let's get into section 1, the science of the bond and our evolutionary hardwiring. To really get this, we have to look back, way back, like 30 to 40,000 years ago. That's when dogs started hanging out with human hunter-gatherers. They were literally our very first domesticated species. Fast forward a bit to about 15,000 years ago, and scientists found the Bonn-Overcastle discovery in Germany. What is that? It's a dog buried right alongside 2 humans. This was a massive, game-changing shift. Dogs went from just being working animals to revered, beloved companions. And of course, that ancient history evolved into the incredible household companions we rely on so heavily today. So you might be wondering, just how universal is this interspecies bond today? Well, check this out. A massive 44% of all households in the United States have at least one dog. Think about that for a second. To put that into perspective, despite all our smartphones and massive social media networks, almost half the country intuitively knows that having a dog by your side is absolutely essential to a good life. It's huge. But how do the experts, the psychologists, actually define this? They use a fancy term, a bidirectional attachment bond. Now, what's so fascinating about this is that this bond practically mirrors the deep psychological attachment between a human infant and their caretaker. It's wild. When you're stressed out, your dog totally picks up on it. And when your dog is stressed, they physically seek you out to feel better. It is a completely mutual, two-way street of emotional regulation. When you're just spending quality time with your dog, heck, even just making eye contact or giving them some scratches, it triggers a mutual release of oxytocin in both of your brains. And oxytocin is famously known as the love hormone. This continuous loop acts as a powerful, all-natural remedy for loneliness. It essentially turns the dial way down on all that exhausting social noise outside. Moving right along to section 2, the highly sensitive connection. Did you know that roughly 30% of the entire population are considered highly sensitive people, or HSPs for short? If you're in that 30%, it means you experience sensory processing sensitivity, which in plain English means the world quite literally looks brighter, sounds a whole lot louder, and feels way more emotionally intense to you than it does to the average person. Trying to navigate a super loud, demanding society with a nervous system like that, man, it can be completely and utterly exhausting. And you know what? That perfectly explains why highly sensitive folks connect so profoundly with dogs. First off, there is zero pressure to talk. None. For an overwhelmed nervous system, that quiet time allows for true destimulation, and you don't have to worry about making things awkward. Plus, when you do need to vent, dogs are the ultimate non-judgmental listeners. They never interrupt. They give you access to this innocent, inner child kind of play that just snaps you out of your own head. And maybe, most importantly, they provide a totally safe outlet for your deep compassion. You can care for them without the risk of burdening others or, having your empathy taken advantage of. Let's wrap things up with section 3, the secure signal and reframing the bond. Think about human relationships for a minute. Even the really good ones often require this exhausting level of vigilance. They come with conditions, unstated expectations, keeping score, and this constant need for masking just to make sure you fit in. Now contrast all of that with a dog. A dog offers an unconditional baseline. They offer pure existence. They honestly don't care if you just got a promotion, if your house is a mess, or if you're not exactly emotionally articulate today. They just value you. Your authentic self. The whole shebang. It really is a relationship based purely on existence. I want you to think of your heart sort of like a highly sensitive Wi-Fi router. Human relationships are so often a crowded, flickering signal, just full of static and interference. But your bond with your dog, that is a dedicated, encrypted line. That connection never drops. It never judges you, and it definitely doesn't ask you to pay for the signal. It simply teaches your nervous system what true, unwavering safety actually feels like. So, as we finish up today's explainer, I really want to hear from you guys. Are you team, I'd rather be home with my dog? Or are you team, my dog is my absolute shadow wherever I go? What is that one small, quiet, goofy ritual you share with them that makes the rest of the world just disappear? Definitely drop it in the comments below. Look, I really hope this explainer empowered you to see that your deep canine attachment isn't just some quirky habit. No way. It's a genuine superpower of clarity. Honor that incredible safety you've built together. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.